Hi everyone, this is Annie from Eagle Eyes, and my message to you today is about transformation. Now, I don't want to go into the specific dictionary or the Bible definition, but if you would like to look it up more about transformation versus a New Year's resolution. Oh, and yes, forgive me. Happy New Year to everyone, to all my devoted, dedicated, appreciated viewers of my channel, everyone and anyone that appreciates my channel and what it stands for. I just want to say a happy and prosperous and a new year that is a fresh and new perspective. And basically, that is what this video is about today: is starting the new year with a fresh new perspective and about transformation, not necessarily a New Year's resolution, because studies have shown that 80% of the people who have New Year's resolution actually, excuse me, 80% of people who actually have New Year's resolution actually, um, they basically fall short of keeping these resolutions that they have. For example, many people have, to lose weight, or, basically unrealistic expectations and very specific. And I know someone specifically who has the same resolution every year, but starts it, never finishes it, never really accomplishes the goal. And so, what I'm trying to say is, don't just have a New Year's resolution because everyone else has a New Year's resolution and it's the same thing, or it's a cliche, but be transformed. Um, be transformed within. If you want to look up the Bible definition, you can. Maybe you'll get a better understanding of being transformed. And there's also the dictionary definition of being transformed. Transformation is something that is internal. It's about going beyond what you physically are as a being, physically, externally, and transforming internally. And my perspective on this, I don't want to give you the biblical or the dictionary, but if you look into the Bible and if you look into the dictionary, you'll find a more concise definition of what transformation is. But my take on it, my perspective is, because generally speaking, it's an internal transformation. I see transformation as really cleansing of the mind of any toxicity, cleansing of your heart and your spirit. And so, having fresh and new perspective for the new year um, starts with cleansing. I believe my point of view and my perspective of transformation is cleansing the internal mind. And it is about renewing the mind. I believe that's part of the biblical definition, is about renewing your mind. And renewing your mind is also renewing your heart, or cleansing the heart. And so many of us hold on to a lot of negativity, or anger and frustration. And um, this is not easy for any of us. It's not easy for me. I'm speaking about it, but I am also in the struggles as well with any of you. But my goal is I've actually started this transformation since last year. I was speaking to my friend and I was telling him how I've started this transformation with my newfound re education, renewing my mind, renewing my spirit, a lot of praying, a lot of meditating, a lot of just enlightened wisdom and having a fresh new perspective. And I don't want to sound like I'm preaching or I'm a preacher or I'm so spiritually enlightened and so holy, because I'm just a regular person and just the average person like anyone else. But on a purpose, and on a purpose for myself, but on purpose for this channel, this video, and transforming within myself while I'm sending the message to others that I believe it is important for um, any human being to transform internally. And once you begin to transform mentally, having fresh perspective, cleansing toxic thoughts and made up bad thoughts, or just making up, inventing things in our head that never usually happens, and just thinking of the worst. And I am so guilty of this. Sometimes I just think of the worst. And I have spoken about this before, about why we tend to usually think of the worst. It's because of the brain that wants to survive, the fight or flight. It wants to figure out everything that's wrong, everything is difficult. Right now, I want to figure it out. I want to fight it or I want to flight it, because that's basically what the brain is about. I want to fight it or I want to flight. And so we have to sometimes get out of the brain and use the brain more to our advantage instead of a disadvantage of the negative and the toxic thoughts and the horror movies that we create. To quote a guru, we tend to create horror movies in our heads instead of creating more about positive or loving, or more laughter and comedy. We tend to think of the worst, and that's because of the brain wanting to fight or flight all the time. And so we have to, as this is really a Buddhist quote, as to take control of the mind before the mind takes control of us. That's really about the fight and flight, that we have to be the seer and the viewer and the observer of our mind sometimes, and not just have the mind take control of fight or flight, but take control of our mind and where we're taking our mind. And that is all renewing the mind, cleansing, and just putting new information, wisdom, knowledge, any kind of fresh and new perspective, and taking hold, taking control of this mind of ours that likes to fight or flight and think of the worst, and making up horror movies in our heads. And instead of thinking of the worst, but just imagine good things and imagine positive ideas, and get rid of the toxic thoughts. And in the heart can be unhealthy, so much more than what we eat. The heart can be very stiffened and hardened, and unhealthy because of toxic thoughts, because of anger and resentments, and just holding on to things. And sometimes, if you can't really express it the way you want to, then express it in a humorous way, or write it down, or write a book, or just express it. And my way of expressing myself, renewing myself, as the process of transforming myself, as the from the um, from the baby stage into the mature adult, um, and more spiritually enlightened being that I would like to be, is my process is partially doing this YouTube channel, doing things that I'm consciously aware of what I'm saying and the messages that I'm sending out, and not being a hypocrite, knowing that I'm not perfect, but I have the intention of being transformed internally, cleansing my mind and my heart and my spirit, always putting the effort and taking control of my thoughts and of my mind before it takes control of me. And that has a lot to do with also being aware of yourself and being aware of others, and less finger pointing on others and more looking at the log, clearing the log. This is from the Bible also. You know, before I look at the speck in my brother's eyes, I should clear the log that is in my own eyes. And so evaluating what I am doing, or our actions, and being more aware and being conscious of our actions and our energies, our thoughts, our actions, our energies. And that has a lot to do with the internal transformation of cleansing the mind of toxic thoughts or negative thoughts, the heart, your spirit, your soul. and basically coming from a place of your heart and your soul and your spirit. Excuse me, that's my little cat baby looking for my attention. So, my message to you today, my in the process of being enlightened and beautiful viewers, all those who appreciate this channel, my videos, myself, my message, what this channel stands for, everything and anything educational, motivational, inspirational, anything to enlighten, to help you and to help me. And we are all in this together and in this process of growing together and internal transformation. Once you are internally in the process of transforming and you become transformed, and that is what leads you to the external transformation, the cleansing of the mind, the heart, the soul, the spirit, having fresh new perspective, healthy new perspective. This will help your physical transformation. If you're eating healthier, if you're having healthier thoughts, healthy actions and thoughts, fruitful actions, fruitful behavior, positive behavior, fresh perspective, and instead of adding to the negative energy of your workplace or any place else, knowing that you're not perfect and you are in the process of growing and you will always make mistakes, but it's about just making one less mistake. It's about being less negative, having less negative energy, and making a conscious and a positive effort into putting your best foot forward, um, as to say, internally. And once you start to internally transform your mind, heart, soul, and spirit, having fresh perspective, cleansing the mind and the heart, having a lighter heart, a fresh and new perspective, then the external transformation will also come into place. And also, I just want to say that every year we have a whole new body. Every week we have a new stomach lining. Every 3 months, a skeleton, new skeleton, and we have a new our the brain also changes within time, but definitely every year, every month we have new skin. Every year we have a whole new body. The physical body is in the process of changing all of the time. So we should also be renewing the mind, the heart, the soul, and the spirit as well to go along with that change of a whole new body. So happy new year to all my dedicated, appreciative, and loving and caring, and just anyone and everyone that appreciates just this channel, what it stands for, and sees the value and appreciates this message and my channel. I thank you, and let's start the new year 2018 with fresh new perspective, and not with a New Year's resolution, but a new transformation within. I thank you, and this is Annie from Eagle Eyes. Until next time, thanks again.